Hello, my name is P2G, and today we're gonna be doing a VOD review of a Gold Zen player. Can't exactly read his name, but it's Rice something. And yeah, let's get into it.
Earth's Shatter.
Wait for Doug to pick his hero, then I'll talk about team comp. Alright, so this probably is not going to be your final team comp. I really hope it's not, because this is garbage. Reasoning is you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 DPS with only 1 tank and 1 support. You're also solo Zen support, which is bad. Solo Zen is not very good, especially in matchmaking. He just doesn't put out enough heals. Your team, I mean, obviously any comp can work, but it's very, very hard to solo heal with Zen. Soldiers have self-healing, but it's going to be really hard for you to heal all of these people all the time. His name was Naruto Boy 196. His Reddit name was Rice something. Anyways, so hopefully you guys swap this team comp up, or else you've already lost, more than likely, unless your team can pop off. The synergy is also quite poor. Widow, Junk, and Soldier do work well with Reinhardt, more or less. Widow shouldn't necessarily be standing behind the shield all the time, but at least these two can be standing behind his shield and spamming damage out. So that's okay. Really, these two should swap, more or less, but that's not up to you. But if you wanted to make a more cohesive team comp, that would be my suggestion. Okay. So it looks like your ally might be trying to swap. If he's gonna go anything, I would suggest he go tank and you solo heal. Because if you solo heal with
If he feels kneecap or what?
Anna or I don't know, Anna or Mercy could be good. Moira can work if you're really good at managing your resource, but you do run the risk of overusing it and not having any healing. Alright, so he went second healer. He went Anna. Solo tank can work with triple DPS. It's okay. But it really requires your DPS to be playing at a higher level. Spamming the shield is good. Keep spamming it. Call out Roadhog on left. Nice. Alright, you're up. You guys need to play aggressively here. Nope, you're up too. Play even more aggressive. This is alright, staying in this kind of further back. Good reaction on the heal. So when I play Zen, I like to use comms a lot. You don't have to, but it's a chaotic game, and calling out where people are can be really helpful to your teammates. So right there, you feel that you're getting shot by a tracer from behind. So call that out. Tracer is underpass. Tracer is behind. Tracer to my left. Whatever you want to say. That way your team can at least know where she is. Not even necessarily that they're going to turn and kill her, but they also know then that they're behind. You can also then call out Widow. Or alternatively, you can I always just try to call out whoever's discorded, or if I shoot anyone and they're low. That way, especially when you have like a Tracer or a Genji or even a Widow, they can be like, oh, okay, it'll be a quick kill, so just quickly target that person, get the kill, get back. You don't have to use your mic. It's just, if you really want to climb, I would definitely suggest it. Do everything in your power to win, and communication is certainly part of that. So far, your positioning isn't bad. So just standing still against Widow is really ballsy. Especially when she knows where you are and you know where she is. Standing in a big open space like this where you're you aren't within cover right now, and you're not close to being within cover, I would stand a little bit further over here or over here. That way, like, even if you see her, you just shoot, and as your last shot is firing, you're standing behind cover, so that way, yes, she can still kill you, but it is much harder for her to kill you, and she doesn't have time when you're trying to move like that to just shoot you in the head and kill you. So if you're gonna peek a widow like that, my suggestion for peeking a widow, because I love killing widows as Zen, is don't shoot them from the same place more than 2 times, because you're already pushing your luck with 2 times. And after, if you don't get the kill the second time, reposition yourself to somewhere new, or just try to avoid her line of sight and play with your team and win the team fight outright from there. But peeking her more than twice can be super, super dangerous. If she has walls, don't even try to fight her. A competent widow will destroy you 9 times out of 10. And again, calling her out would be useful. Your team sees her, but knowing their Discord can help people play, knowing the amount of damage they can do to her. Widow's on top, call her out. So again, right there, you didn't have 2 separate interactions trying to fight her, but even crouch spamming like that takes her 2 body shots to kill you. It's very, very risky to do that. You're not generally going to kill a competent widow with your left click because she has enough time in between them to move. So pretty much the only reliable way is if you charge up minimum of 3 right click orbs and then burst her in the head. 3 orbs will kill a 200 health target. 2 will kill them if you have Discord on them, but you're probably not going to Discord widow. So that's the best way to kill a widow, unless you know they're low. So again, so right there. So you knew the widow was there because your widow just shot at their widow, or at least you can assume it. So this is really risky. I would probably go all the way over here and go back left. That way you're closer to your Reinhardt for the shield. But if you're gonna peek here, charging shot's fine, but don't stay here. Just flick up to her, shoot it, and get over to this cover right over here. Because that way she can't land another shot on you. If that widow was better, you would have died there. So this is fine. This is what you more so want to do with widow. Now you have walls, so you know even more where she is. Super careful against Roadhog, because his hook will kill you. Right now you don't have any tanks with you, so it's a little bit risky to play this aggressively. Just wait for your Rein to come back up. Alright, now you're all here, and you're up, so play aggressively with your team. That was a good counter shatter. His shatter should not have hit. Guy's shield is definitely up, but that's okay.
On the bridge specifically.
So with Tracer, the important thing, 1, put your Discord on before you shoot, because it just makes it a lot easier to kill her. 2, try and predict when she's gonna blink. Generally, a Tracer will unload 1 clip, like she is now, and then she's gonna blink, right? And you kind of have to know, or at least think about where she might blink. So she was standing right here. She pretty much has 3 options. She can either blink this way, she can blink straight into your face, or she can blink this way. And you pretty much have to weigh those options very, very quickly. I mean, she could blink up the stairs, but that would be a very bitch way to play Tracer, and most Tracers want to get kills, so they don't play like that. They could do it, but if they do that, she's no longer a threat. You don't need to worry about it. If she blinks this way, then that means she's going for your tanks. She's probably not going to kill you. So you have a little more time to maybe line up your shots and get a clean headshot or 2-tap her in the head with the right click. If she blinks into your face, it means she's 100% trying to kill you. But that also means that if she does it right now, or if she were to blink right then into your face, you don't currently have ammo. But you did, I believe you just got the Discord, or you haven't quite gotten the Discord yet on it. Either way, if she blinks into your face and you don't have ammo, try to survive while you reload, and then Discord her and animation cancel the Discord with your left click in the head, and then immediately after that melee her. That's enough to kill a Tracer. It's the best way to kill a super aggressive Tracer like that. And then the next thing is if she blinks this way, it means she's either trying to kill you or kill someone further in your backline, most likely trying to kill you, especially at this range. So you should be predicting one of these three things and be ready to react to any of them. And so if she's going this way, ideally you should be able to just flick straight over here immediately. That's an aim thing. But flick over here, get the Discord. She's already half health, so you can just hit her in the body once, and if she's close enough, melee. But just being prepared for all those options and knowing what to do appropriately in all of them will help you. It's more like muscle memory once you get used to it rather than reaction based. Still some reactions obviously, but you get what I'm saying. So she went this way, which means she's probably trying to kill you or someone in the back line. Turn to her. So it looked like you kind of overshot her, which is just getting used to your sensitivity thing. And that's just aim practice. Like going into a custom made match with 6 Anabots or 6 Lucio bots, headshot only. Practicing that, getting used to your sensitivity. As long as you're comfortable with your current sensitivity, and just getting used to that will get you better at just doing those instant flicks. I don't know if you ever watched Jonak play, but he's very, very good at that. He plays on a really low sensitivity, but he's obviously very used to it. He can pretty much put his cursor right on someone's head and kill them. So that's not a huge thing. I would say I make the same mistake every now and then as well. So not a huge deal. Just, you know, if you want to be able to consistently kill her. And then, so you've hit her twice by the time she's blinking. One, put the Discord on right now. Those 2 hits would make her really low. She'll probably want to rewind after that. Also, it's a little riskier, but with Tracer, you kind of have to go risky or you're probably going to die. Generally aim for a headshot on Tracer. If you would hit both those headshots with the Discord, she would 100% be dead. So go for the riskier play with Tracer, because generally a non-risky play will just get you killed because Tracer has such an advantage. Similar to Genji, go for the riskier headshots because they're going to outburst you pretty hard if you're just hitting body shots. If you have Discord on, it's a little different because you can hit 3 body shots, but still, they're probably going to be able to outmaneuver you, not get hit with 3 in a row unless they're bad. So go for the little riskier headshot. The only exception to that is if you have a right click with 3 or more shots and they're discorded, then you can just go for the body that will kill them before they can react. So you hit 2. You turn, you try to melee, that's okay. But then you see, so she blinks away from you. So she's scared right now. She blinks all the way back there. Stop worrying about her. She's used 2 of her blinks right there, and I think she used a 3rd, so she won't have blink for a little bit longer. You're also super, super low, and you just saw your Ryan just died. So you should either turn around and see if your team needs your Transcendence, because if you use it, it will save both you and potentially your teammates. Or 2, look around you. You're now 3 down in the fight, so you've probably already lost it, but you're 40 health. You know they came in with respawns. Look around you rather than focusing on her, and it pretty much just allows Zen to come in from the side and get a free kill on you. Not a huge deal because you guys pretty much already lost the fights. At this point, I would say fall back, don't use ults. You guys already lost that fight. It's much safer for you to come back as 6 and try to win it.
Get in here. Get in, up. Oh shit, Widow's right here.
Your Nano had already used her Nano, but that's okay. Now you're up. Now you guys should push in. You're still in. You have your trans, call that out. Now you're even, but you still have trans, so you should be at an advantage. Trying to predict is okay. Even if she had moved that way, you wouldn't have hit those shots, but It's okay, as long as you're going for him, you'll get better as you play more. That's like the biggest thing with Zen because of his projectile speed, is just getting used to where it's going and then predicting where other people are going. So here, so you see that first shot, graze right by you. You know then, so following the trajectory and knowing the map, she's probably up on this box over here, right? This little garage area. So you know that. You have this moving piece of cover with you. Utilize that. Don't peek her. You want to utilize this, charge up a shot, crouch behind it maybe, peek out for like a half second while you shoot all your shots, and then peek below again. That just reduces the chance of her getting a kill on you. Instead, what you do, you try to do that for a sec, but then you let it go in front of you. It's a moving barrier. You have to be moving with it, or else you fall behind it and you're a free headshot. You also kind of peeked her unnecessarily without a charge shot or any way to really deal with her, so that was pretty much on you and your death.
Just come back.
The best way to play against Widow is to stay out of her line of sight.
Just come back.
So,
I'm gonna die.
Heal right now. Right now, heal. It might not have saved her. Still put it out there. It might save her. Maybe not this time. Another time it might. So, try to get the heals out as fast as possible. It's a really, really quick ability. It's really strong. You've been pretty good at healing. I'm not going to harp on it too much. So you have walls. Again, you can call it out. Now she's blinked away. Don't focus too much on her. You just know she's over there now. Play with that in your mind. Maybe call it out to your team. Hey, Tracer's on left. You could push her as a team, or you're just aware that she is flanking you. Now, again, so you knew she was back there. You knew she was to the left, which means she could easily come behind you like this. So you kind of have to be prepared for this and kind of keep your head on a swivel. It's not your job to fight that Widow. That Widow already killed your Widow. So you don't really have a whole lot to contest it. Don't worry so much about that Widow. Worry about your immediate threats. Don't run away from your healer. Stay with her. That's your one chance of winning this fight out. Or her getting trapped. So, I mean, I like fighting Widows, but again, you do it for too long. Like, if you're gonna do left clicks, just do like 2 if you have a Discord. If they don't all both hit the head, a competent Widow will kill you. So again, instead of fighting where you just fought her, right out here, move up here to this wall, charge a shot, peek out, shoot it up in her face, go behind, and then that should be all you do, especially since she knows exactly where you are. She's going to be waiting for your head after that. That's one of those times you wouldn't want to do it twice because she's expecting you. The only time you want to do it twice is if you shoot one, she doesn't expect it, one of them or 2 of them hit her, and then she kind of knows your general direction, but not exactly where you're peeking from, then you can go for it again. But right now, she'll know exactly where you're coming from, and she'll be ready for your second shot. So just move up here and do that little peek, and then after that you can just go around through the door back to the payload. Just don't, you really don't want to be in open space against Widow with no cover near you. It's just a free kill for her. You have a pretty enormous hitbox for the size of your character. It was a good hook by Hog. Gotta hit those shots. With tanks, kind of with my like risky play theme that I've brought up before, with tanks like Orisa, Roadhog, Winston, Reinhardt, aiming for the head is crucial, especially with Discord. Discorded headshots are more important on Zen than they are like to hit a headshot with McCree. Still important with McCree, but for Zen, because of the way his ability kit works, when you have a Discord on them, it does 30% bonus damage, right? And that scales then with your 200% damage. So you're doing far more damage with a headshot than you are with a regular body shot with Discord on. So going for headshots is super, super important. That's like it's a huge important thing. So keep that in mind when you're playing. Headshots are very, very important to be hitting with Zen, especially on tanks. In Orisa, for example, if you have a Discord on her and you fully charged a right click with 5 orbs, you can kill her with that one shot. So keep that in mind when you're playing against people like Winston too. When Winston dives on you, Winston is very hard to deal with as Zen. You pretty much have 2 options, especially when he puts his barrier down. Either you stay inside of the barrier and you try to hit him with 5 clean headshots that will kill him. Or you try and back out from the barrier and force him to stay within range of his effective range while you do that. That can be really risky because a lot of the times he'll get you low enough while he's still in the barrier, while you're backing away, that it won't matter if you hit 3 because he won't die. Both of them depend if your team is with you or not, and what his health is and what your health is, stuff like that. If you hit, when he jumped on you, did you hit the first headshot? That will influence that. If you did hit the first headshot, it might be better for you to just stay inside of this bubble and kind of make him either try to go in between the bubble or just fight him in the bubble and kill him outright. If you didn't hit the first shot, it depends on where he lands. If he lands on top of you, 9 times out of 10, you want to try to either fight him within the bubble, especially if you don't have any healing or your team isn't nearby. You just want to try and kill him as fast as possible, fight him within the bubble. If he landed maybe to one side of you, like if he is blocking you, if he is in between you and the enemy team, back away from him into your team. If he is in between you and your ally team, try to fight in the bubble while also pushing towards your team, because it takes a long time to kill him. If he can use the bubble to block shots, you lose the fight. So that's kind of how you have to think about it. It really depends on where he lands, if you hit him, how low he was when he jumped in, how low you are currently. If he's really good when he lands on you with the punch, you'll already be pretty low. So you're probably going to lose that fight. There isn't a ton you can do about it. If you see him coming towards you, like you know he's going to dive you, start charging a shot. And even without Discord, if you hit him in the head, that gives you a significant advantage in that fight. So that's a little rant on Winston, but the same principle applies to like everyone basically. There's fights you can and can't win as Zen, and there's certain conditions you can utilize to win them. But going for headshots is important. Sorry, got a little off topic. Headshots on tanks, they're the easiest targets. They generally have low mobility. Get him in the head. D.Va's also very easy. It does a lot of damage, gives you a lot of charge. Get the heal on Hog. Keep it on Hog. She doesn't need it. Generally, for your orbs, either you want them to be on a frontline tank who is diving, taking a lot of damage, like a D.Va or a Winston, or you want them to be on like a Tracer or maybe a McCree, someone who, or a Genji, someone who's gonna be taking damage or getting into a duel. It really wants your Harmony orb on them. Put it on Widow. It's not super important because she is in the back line. She will either get one shot by the enemy Widow, or she'll get hit once, go to a health pack and be fine, or you can turn around and heal her from that point. But putting it on someone who's like diving, who won't necessarily have the time to go get a health pack in the middle of a fight, is more important. Putting on a Hog is not, it's okay right now because no one else really needs it, but he has a self heal. So don't worry too much about people with self-heals with your orb. The main healer can generally deal with them. But I'd say like right now, put it on D.Va. She's about to be flying in, taking some damage. That's a reaction time thing. Could have saved your whole team. So you see Ryan. So something with Ryan's and Zarya's. Your ult is really, really, really strong at countering both of their ults. So be aware of when they both have their ult and when it looks like they're trying to use it. Generally, a good way to tell with Ryan and with Zarya is if they start pushing up really, really aggressively, which has been out of character for the rest of the game. That's when you know that they're probably about to ult, and you need to prepare yourself to hit the Q, hit your ult so that you can counter it. Because right here, for instance, so your whole team is right here. She gets hooked. Ryan is pushing up super, super hard. He's the only person you can see. His team might be right behind him, but still, you can see he's being hyper aggressive. Also, if you've played any Ryan, this is like a wet dream for Ryan. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 of you in a line, all within the cone of his shatter. So you have to see that and think, oh, he's about to shatter. Hit Q. There wasn't enough burst damage in that instance to kill all those people. You could have healed them up to then survive the whole Hog, and then they used 2 ults, you countered it with your 1, and you got a ton of healing out of it. So know when the enemies are going to be using those power ults. Similar to Genji, if a Genji starts diving into your backline, or if you see a Genji dash straight up into the air, probably means he's going to use his ult. Zenyatta has a really strong ultimate, but it has to be used at the correct time. I don't believe I've seen you ult this entire game. You probably could have had 2 or 3 had you ulted appropriately and with the right amount of damage. There's 2 ways you can think about ulting with Zen, and those ways are basically reactively, like when, well, there's two subcategories of that. One, when you want to counter an enemy ult like a Reinhardt or a Zarya or a Genji, and you have to know their team, hit tab, look at their team, think, okay, who of their ults am I strongest against? Right now, I believe it's Reinhardt. I'm not sure if they have a Zarya. You haven't really hit tab. I think they have a Genji. So really, it's Reinhardt ult that you want to be holding your ult for. But if you see him use it and waste it, then you have less pressure. You will probably get his or your ult about the same time he gets his ult, assuming he's not playing super aggro. And the second way to use your ult is just you see 3 or 4 of your teammates, or maybe just 2 of your teammates getting really low, and you don't have the burst healing to heal them, and your main healer is gone, but it's a winnable fight. It has to be a winnable fight in order for this condition to be met. If it's you 3 versus 3 or even 4 of them, that's still winnable, especially with your Transcendence. If they have 5 or 6 and it's only 3 of you, it's very unlikely you're going to win. Like super unlikely. But it's possible depending on the ults you have, but that's a whole nother condition. But it has to be winnable. If you see people get low, ult in, and then basically tell them to go aggressive, because they're essentially invulnerable as long as they don't have a one-shot ability. So that's how you should be thinking about using Zen's ult. It's really hard to use it and know when to use it, but don't be scared to use it. Zen gets a lot of charge if you're dealing a lot of damage, especially with headshots again. You get a lot of ultimate charge from that, so utilize that. You can get a Zen ult every like 1.5 to 2 minutes if you're good. So play with that in mind, and don't hold on to it for too long. Like any ultimate, you don't want to be holding on to it for the entirety of the match. Unless you absolutely never needed it and you never lost a fight, that could have been saved by trans. Sometimes that happens. But so far, overall, your positioning isn't super bad. You play a little aggressive against the Widow. You aren't quite playing behind your shield all the time, but you're at least playing within your team. You're not playing too far back to get picked by the Tracer, which is good. Put your heal on Roadhog. Again, calling out discords. Maybe they, they can help out. He uses Blade, Tracer behind. Again, going for those headshots. So that was the only time you ulted, and it pretty much didn't matter. It wasn't going to be a beneficial ult to anyone. So not a big deal. You guys took the point, but you probably could have won a few of those fights had you, 1, been there to ult, or 2, just ulted to save a teammate, or 2. It's a little hard with Widow, because Widow can one-shot through your ult, but still. That's fine. Holding this high ground is alright. What you'll see higher level people do, but it actually requires your whole team to do it to be effective, is they'll go, I want you to like try and look at it for a sec. So they go up here. You jump up here, and then you jump up here, and then you jump up here, you jump up here, then you go right over to this corner, and you jump, and you land right on this corner. And then you can all set up here. It's pretty strong, but it requires your whole team to be doing it. So you're low. When you're low like this, 1, you don't want to be alone, and 2, you want to try and find your healer. Oh, you don't have a healer? Try to get health back. Luckily for you, your McCree is absolutely popping off. So there you can either get your health back, or Zen's health does recharge, so it was okay to stay there, but you were low enough where if the Tracer was competent, she would have probably killed you.
I'm right behind y'all.
Okay, so now you see Widow there. Careful. You could have right there asked for healing. Your trigger.
Oh, Bastion's on high ground.
Bastion, or I mean, Widow. Anna certainly should not have peeked the Widow. Right here, you see this. You see this menacing robotic turret coming out here. You have Junkrat here. Your best bet, honestly, is to call it out to Junkrat. Hopefully, he starts lobbing bombs out here, right? And you just put a Discord on him and turn this corner. Maybe shoot once, but anything more than that, you're going to get killed. As you can see, you shoot 3 times, I believe. You get killed. If you had told Junk, he spams over here, 2 or 3 bombs with your orb, it's going to kill that guy. He does it kind of late. That's just, if you had communicated that, it might have gone better. Might not have, but again, it's doing everything you possibly can to give yourself the highest chance of winning. That's the best way to climb. And that's an amalgamation of positioning, aim, call-outs, awareness, reflexes, reaction time, whatever you want to call it, and just general game sense and knowledge. So that wasn't entirely your fault. Ryan got stuck and backed up into you, but this is again another like thing. You know Tracer probably has her ult. She does stick him right here. He backs up into you. There wasn't much chance of you getting out. Maybe you could have communicated with him like, hey Ryan, I'm directly behind you. But that's not on you really. Another little piece of wisdom, I guess. If you ever get stuck and you don't have ult, just stand still with like any character except maybe Moira. Moira you can fade away, but if you do fade away with Moira, you gotta make damn sure you're not fading into an enemy.
Wait, why did you switch to Feral?
But that way you at least stop yourself from getting killed. Or killing someone else, I should say. If you do have ult as Zen, you can ult and run away. You get a move speed buff. See, that's good. So that Tracer that time just blinked right into your face like an idiot. She's right here. You have good reactions. You go right to her head. And, you know, you already have 3 orbs, right? It doesn't have to be fully filled in to count. As soon as this appears, you have an orb. So you could let it go right now, flick to her head, and you could kill her. Either way, she played like an idiot. A better Tracer will probably never go into that small room, especially when she sees multiple of you people there. So that would have been a decent time to ult. Ryan used ult. You guys are pretty much in on this fight. You have 2 down there. Ryan is super low. It might be worth it for you to drop, put a heal on him, and use your ult. That leads me to another thing, important thing with your ult. Try to have both your orbs out when you ult because they do stay out and it just adds to your impact in that fight. So there Ryan shatters. Your Ryan eventually dies. You definitely could have saved him there had you ulted. Again, fighting the Widow. You actually get her because she was 1 and peeking like an idiot, but you know, a blind squirrel finds a nut twice a day. However that saying goes, so you're in a pretty risky position here. Go across that bridge. Just go across this. Don't fight this. Go across this. Go to the right. Yeah, exactly. You should have done that a little faster. As you climb, the thing that really differentiates the different ranks is punishing mistakes like that. A better rank would have killed you. Diva would have flown up, knocked you off the bridge, and then you would have been easy pickings for them. That's something that you can get away with in gold, because you may think that they punish your mistakes well, but they don't at all. There have been several times when they haven't. So as you climb, you will get away with less and less of this, and you have to keep playing smarter and smarter. And that's one of the key things to really climbing is 1, learning how to punish enemy mistakes, or 2, not putting yourself in a position to get punished by your own mistake. So now you guys are pretty easy pickings. Putt McCree gets a fat ult. Again, something probably would not have happened at a higher rank. Could have been a little faster. The thing with Tracer is killing her is an achievement, but try and kill her faster and faster every time, especially one that's playing as poorly as this one. A better Tracer won't be standing still for longer than a second most of the time, and becomes much more difficult to kill them, especially once you hit like Diamond and Masters, and if someone plays a lot of Tracer, they get quite good. So again, don't be left clicking a Widow. A good Widow right there would have killed you. That was Soldier. Even still, a Soldier that was good would have killed you. You were moving just back and forth pretty predictably.
I'm coming.
I can't tell if you're holding your left click down or if you're clicking it. If you're holding it, stop doing that. If you're clicking it, good, keep doing that. Every shot should be deliberate. Holding it down is bad because basically if you have a rate of fire of 1 every 0.25 seconds and you're shooting them at every 0.25 seconds, it kind of looks like you're holding it down, honestly. But if you're shooting every 0.25 seconds, then the best way I can describe it, you're having 4 shots per second, but if you shoot once and then a Tracer blinks in your face and is only there for the remaining 0.24 seconds, or maybe she's there for 0.5 seconds, you're only then able to get 1 shot off on her rather than 2, especially if you had wasted that first shot. Just if someone sees that and they play around the gap in between your shots, it really weakens your ability to play. So another time you could have ulted right there. Your Moira tried to, again, you're McCree only getting away with this because they somehow aren't seeing a high noon from behind. You know, he's just hiding right here. He somehow gets away with that high noon. He really shouldn't have. You end up winning, not necessarily as much because your teammate played it well, but more so because their team doesn't have any awareness. He then wastes ult. Never do that. If you've lost a fight, lose the fight. That's okay. Again, that's kind of how you want to play against a Widow. Block their line of sight and then shoot a burst and then go back behind line of sight. So right there, that was good aim, that was good tracking. If you can consistently play like that, that will help you climb tremendously. So far it's been fairly inconsistent, so that's just a practice thing. I mean, I have good days and bad days too, but if you can get consistently better, you don't have to be at your top all the time, but if you're consistently pushing up how good you are, then even your bottom will get a little higher every day and your top will also get higher. So that way, on average, you're just playing better. And that just comes with practicing, like the bots before. Aim Hero is a good game to get if you just want to warm up and practice aim. Playing quick play, playing ranked. I mean, I have a silver border main, 2-star Smurf, or alt, I should say, and a level like 100 alt. So I have a lot of play time. I don't got a plat border or nothing, but I have enough playtime that I understand the game and I've put the work in. And when you are playing, you're not just playing, you're playing to improve, right? So play to always get yourself better. That's the best way to do it. And what I mean by that is don't worry about your team so much. Yeah, you can make suggestions like, hey, we need a second healer. Like, hey, they have a Pharah, can we get a hit scan or a Widow? Stuff like that. But what I mean by that is, like, say you're playing in a game and you have every gold medal, regardless on who you're playing Zen, you have every gold, you're out healing your Mercy. I mean, that's obviously not a good sign, but don't say anything, right? Because that's not beneficial. Potentially, you're just playing super, super well. That would be great. More than likely, it's more your team isn't playing really great, but you can't control them. This isn't about you making them better. Don't worry about them being better. Yeah, you'll lose a few games because of it. You'll lose a lot of games because of it. That's the nature of the game. But so long as you are constantly focusing on proving yourself, you will climb out of it eventually. each individual game is not important to the master plan of how this all works out. So focus on yourself. Also watching your own videos, kind of like this, but I mean, even without someone reviewing it, is still helpful. If you're going to do that, I would say do it maybe a week after, so it's not fresh in your mind, so you don't have all the excuses planned on why you made a certain mistake or why you did X. That way you can just play it and be like, oh wow, why'd I do this? You know, and you don't know why. And it kind of shows you your mistakes. It shows you when you maybe play a little too ballsy. I'm sure when you watch this, you'll see what I'm talking about with the Widow. You may not have played against a super great Widow, but a good one would have killed you several more times than you already have. And something to help climb also is not dying. So it's a very important part of the game.
Nice, Naruto boy.
So you have a mic, I'm pretty sure. I would say use it. You know, if you're shy, I understand, but I mean, if you want to climb, you kind of have to be a little bit ballsy. You have to be willing to make suggestions like swaps. Not aggressively, don't be toxic about it, but know it. Okay, so he has Shatter again, right? So I said it a little bit late, I was already talking, but you can see just off of how he's playing that he has Shatter, or he's playing like a complete fucking idiot. So he is alone. You can't necessarily see his teammates here, but you see he is pushed up completely alone by himself. He's holding up his shield because he's baiting your Rhino to swing at him. You know that he has Shatter. You better be prepared to ult right now, because his team might be able to come in at a second's notice and clean up your team. Better ult. Didn't ult. Alright. So, he played that poorly, which is like the only reason you possibly got away with not ulting here. Again, you're holding your ult. I don't think you've used it yet on this defense. You might have used it once. But this is another opportunity you could have. Their team didn't capitalize on it. They very much so could have and should have. But Ryan still got killed, which leaves you shieldless. So, right when you see this Shatter going down, I would say, so one, shoot this Ryan. If you're not going to ult, kill that guy. You missed all those shots, didn't get any headshots, so he ended up getting the kill. Would have been a great time to ult, or now. So you're holding your ult for far, far too long. You should have just done it in the beginning of that. You could have saved your Rhine two ways. One, you could have healed him enough so he doesn't die to the charge. Or two, you can take the pin when you are playing Zenyatta. So if you see Ryan trying to charge at somebody, or you see him lining it up, just walk in front of that person. He will hit you. He'll pin you into a wall. You are invulnerable. You won't take damage. If anything, he's probably just going to send you through your whole team to heal them a little bit as you travel. You end up saving a life, and you're fine. Another thing you can do is with Soldier, his ultimate will auto track you. So if you can, don't stand too far in front of your team. Just healing your team is enough. But if you can stand kind of in front of your team so it auto tracks onto you, that can really mess with him. Stuff like that, little niche things you can do with his ult. But again, you're holding it too long. They used 3 ults there and you didn't use yours. You should still have time to contest, especially with Moira doing this. But it's going to be hard for you guys to take Bastion out. Your ult probably could have saved that last point, and it would have allowed you to push. But no, I hope you ult here. I really hope you ult here. Alright. Little scary there, but it worked out. This is a good tire. You're lucky that the tire saved you. You're lucky that the enemy team is bad. This isn't as much you guys playing good. This is them playing poorly. You can shoot tire. Everyone is scared to shoot tire. It has 100 health. With you, it takes 3 of your shots. 3 of your right click shots to kill a tire. So it's not exactly a difficult thing. 1 fire strike will kill the tire. Stuff like that. People are scared of tire. They shouldn't be, assuming that they have a way to kill it. They should be trying to kill it. Similar with Genji Blade. Genji becomes super easy to kill when he is in Blade, if he's not super great. If he's dashing around everywhere, it becomes much harder, but still, he doesn't want to use his reflect. He's more hesitant to because it wastes his ultimate. People tend to run away from Genjis when they blade. Instead, you should shoot them, especially as Zen. You have no chance in hell running away from him. If you have ult to counter it, but you don't have a chance to run away from him. Try and hit him twice in the head. If you hit him once in the head, he'll most likely reflect after that. When he starts reflecting, hold your right click down, wait for the animation. I believe it's after about 3.5 to 4 orbs, his animation will finish. Shoot him again, he's dead. Or tell your team, hey, kill this guy. Either way, as I'm saying, what I'm saying is don't be afraid of those ults. Just kill them. But that's what the enemy team did not do, so they got wiped. They got pushed off point. Which is unfortunate for you guys, or for them, I mean. It's good for you guys. So another thing is you should be hitting tab, especially in between each fight like this, because it will let you know who on your team has ults. So right now, say Ryan and Tracer have ults. You know that, you can call out a play like, hey, Ryan, you shatter when they're grouped up and try and hit everybody, and then Tracer go in and bomb. Same thing can happen with the Graviton Surge and bomb, or Tracer bomb, or Graviton Surge and Blade, anything along those lines, or Shatter and Blade. Anything that has a high CC with a high damage ultimate is a super strong combo, and you hitting your tab button allows you to see what ults you have and know what you can synergize and also what you shouldn't be overusing. It also tells you if they switch to anything, like maybe they switch to Widow again. So that's good. I like the spam. Again, you can see how quickly you got your ult. You're at 54 and you just used it in the last fight. So don't be so scared to be using it. Again, fighting this Widow in a dumbass fashion. So, fighting her, trying to hit Varus is hella fun, but really hard. Don't walk away from this, right? Don't walk away from your payload. This is your cover, right? You're now walking into open space. That is where a comp, like right here, right now, you should die. A good Widow will kill you. Then she kills Junkrat. She almost kills you there. And now you're 1 health, right? And if a Tracer comes and gets you, you're dead. You peek her again. Again, that's another time where she knows where you are in general. So you want to keep crouching and you want to walk out of that area and try and get in the left room to get the health pack. I'll show you what I mean. So you're right here. You're trying to heal up. Just go all the way around. Go to that box, come back through, and then go through here, right? That's what you want to do. Instead, you peek up here, and she just gets a free shot on you. You could go Mei here to just stall, but you're 70 to ult, and if you get it, you might be able to win it out. So, once this is over, so again, D.Va gets a fat bomb, pretty much saves you guys. You cleaned up the last two, it's whatever. So you guys win it. So I want to show you, so you're at 80 with your ult right here. Let's see, when was the last time you used it? I'm just doing this to try and exemplify to you how quickly you can get your ults when you're dealing damage. Alright, so you use it right here. You're using it at 17 minutes in. And so, let's see. 2 minutes later, you're at 80% to your ult and you weren't even fighting that whole time. You could have gotten it if you were also hitting more shots, healing more, stuff like that, playing just overall better. But you see what I mean. You get it every 2 minutes. I think you had 2, maybe 3 ults in this whole 19-minute, 20-minute clip. You could have had 10, right? Even if the other 8 or 7 were not super high value, that's still 7 more ults you could have been pushing into. And they only really had a few people that you had to counter ult, and even when those opportunities showed themselves, you still didn't do it. So I'm just telling you that's probably your biggest thing. I'm going on my footnotes, my cliff notes section, which I do at the end of the videos. So, numero uno is you don't use your ult enough. You need to be using it more. You need to hit tab, know what the enemy has, read how they're playing to see what they have, know what ults you can counter with your ult, and either hold it to counter that or use it to save one or two of your teammate and turn a fight. It's like, Mercy would use her ult to res one person when she had the instant res. You basically are doing your more proactive version of that. You're not resing them, but you're saving their entire life and healing them to full. It's very similar, and yours is an AoE, can do it to everyone. So that's number one. Number two, stop fighting widows in open space. If you're going to fight her, again, go behind cover. Peek with your right click, only out there for half a second, then peek back behind cover. Let it, dink her. Maybe try that twice. If she sees where you are after the first one, don't go back somewhere else. You're not going to fight her like that. Using a left click on Widow generally is not going to be successful if she's competent. That's the next part. 3. Your regrouping wasn't horrible. Sometimes you pushed up a little bit too far, but I wouldn't say overall your positioning was bad. You could try to get high ground a little more often. That's very strong with Zen. Try and just get high ground. You don't want to be too far from your team, especially with a tracer. But if you can get high ground, it's super nice to be able to kind of see more of the battlefield. It lets you put your heals out and your discords out a little earlier. 4, I would say this one's not huge, but it will get bigger as you get higher ranked. If you ever play free for all, that's another great warm up / get better at aim tip. This is kind of the get better at aim more or less part. Work on your aim. It's not horrible. It could certainly be better. You could certainly have hit a lot more shots. You could have predicted a little bit better. But go into free for all and play Zen if you want to main Zen. Play whoever you want to main basically in it, because you run into a lot of McCrees and a lot of tracers, a lot of widows, and a lot of Genjis. All of those people are really, really good against you. And so especially if you're playing Zen, you kind of want to play against those people because getting used to playing against your counters really helps you in a real game. So go into those, get used to playing against them. Again, kind of think about the options that a Tracer or a Genji has and what they're going to do. As I showed before, she has a few options on where she's going to blink. Predict each of those. Think about what they mean. If she's going for your team, she's going for you / your backline, she's going straight for you. What do they mean? And then adjust appropriately. If she's going for your team, you don't have to be as panicked about your shots. You can maybe line them up a little bit more, put a heal on your teammate she's trying to kill. If she's coming straight at you, you pretty much have to kill her immediately. But if she does blink right in your face, left click in the head and kick is an insta-kill on her. If she blinks over here, it means she's playing at a distance. And so she won't kill you super fast, so you still don't have to rush your shots, land deliberate shots with your Discord on her. And just know that she's going to take a little bit longer to kill you. And at that point, you should already use 2 blinks, so she only has 1 more blink. So she's just going to have to back up from you or come into your face. And so you just kind of have to manage all those things in your head, especially when fighting a Tracer or a Genji. If you see a Genji use a Reflect, it's down for a few seconds. Go for headshots. If the Genji doesn't have a Reflect and he's jumping up to your face and you're holding a right click, don't shoot it. Just cancel. That's something I need to work on, because a lot of times a Genji will wait for you to charge up a shot and then he'll reflect it back into your face. So kind of bait out his Reflect. And then while he's reflecting, put a Discord on him. Again, hold your right click down, get a kill on him. So that's how you can play well against them. It depends on their play style and how good they are and stuff. But overall, I'd say it's not bad. Just keep playing to improve. Hopefully you watch this. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully, you'll send me more. I'd love to, do more as I see you climb, maybe you're a few hundred SR higher. Maybe then you go up to plat. Maybe then you go up to diamond. I can keep watching you climb. And I didn't point out every little possible thing I could have in this video, but as you climb, I'll be pointing out more and more of the little minute things. But at this current rank, I don't think they're as important. There's something you need to know, but I don't think they're as important to help you climb, because you have more macro things to worry about, and really primarily it's your ult management. So hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully this helped, and yeah, leave a like and a comment if you liked it.